The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998.
Oh, yours. Ours?
Coming up next. What?
I got a cheat sheet here.
Coming up next, it's Be the Booker for this Sunday's WWE.
Are you down with
Vengeance.
BTB?
Yeah, you know me. And I can't wait to see what you're going to come up with, especially as it pertains to Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Be the
Cody's
Booker.
on the pay-per-view?
Be the Booker comes up next on the Pro Wrestling Report. You're so close. Why'd you move in?
I didn't move in. You moved out.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Be the Booker for WWE Vengeance. On pay-per-view this Sunday night, Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius and Tiberius, the alleged hardcore Hall of Famer.
Hardcore?
Hero. Well, I read on Twitter that you're hardcore. Did that not have to do with wrestling?
Not at all.
Whoa.
That was about my lunch
What happens in this segment is we take a look at the upcoming pay-per-view. This case, it would be WWE Vengeance this Sunday night. And David Hero does a little bit of fantasy booking based on the card that has been announced. And we talk about how the pay-per-view might go or could go.
What did you do to my screen here? Moving everything all around? You need to stop that.
And we go match by match. And a couple of disclaimers. This, of course, is for entertainment purposes only, unless WWE happens to do the same thing that David does here in this Be the Booker segment. Then it becomes some kind of prediction. I don't see how that works.
Whoa,
because then if they don't, it wasn't never a prediction. But one thing that must be brought up is the decrease in value, the stock of DWHS dropping on the Amex exchange because...
Are you kidding me?
Well, you said Bobby Roode would be the new TNA World Champion.
And he was up until the last 3 minutes of the show. He was supposed to win. Hulk Hogan screwed me.
You DWH'd us?
I did. And you know what? Listen, according to the TNA insiders that, feed us information, that they were watching our Be the Booker and couldn't believe how good it was, that they didn't want me to take all the credit for it. So they decided, hey, let's just screw the whole show up.
Let's go to the first match.
That's not what happened?
No, let's go to the first match.
That's not what I got.
It's the WWE Divas Championship. It is Beth Phoenix versus Eve Torres. Beth versus Eve for the Divas title. You got to imagine, David Hero, that there could be some other influences in this matchup, including Natalya Neidhart or Kelly Kelly.
Kelly Kelly is not required at ringside. Nobody wants to hear Kelly Kelly. They might want to look at her, but they don't want to hear her. Especially that loud-pitched screaming.
I like it when she screams.
I would rather see Natalya Neidhart come down to the ring and help Beth Phoenix put the beat down on Eve Torres. Establish them as the heels. I mean, they already are, but make
They're the divas of destruction.
Make them bigger and badder. Imagine the tears of all the wrestling fans out there when they take apart Eve Torres, the Wonder Woman of the Divas division.
At times.
She is. She has the lasso.
Beth Phoenix, will she walk out with the Divas Championship is the question.
Absolutely. Beth Phoenix has to. They've invested too much time, effort, and money into Beth Phoenix and Natalie Neidhart. As sexy of a pick as Eve Torres is, I don't think the fans would be happy with that.
Really?
Yeah, not at all.
She looks good to me.
She looks fantastic, but Beth Phoenix, she is the prototypical diva knockout wrestler right now.
Diva knockout wrestler. Is that like being the TNA Impact Wrestling champion?
No, that's the diva knockout
James
wrestler.
Roode.
James Roode.
James Storm, sorry. I still have Bobby Roode in my head because he should be the champion.
We are talking about...
Oh, of course you don't want to talk about the biggest news from last night's Impact. Of course you don't.
That's for prime time.
WWE United States Championship will be on the line as Dolph Ziggler, Dolphy Z, defends against you know it, Zack Ryder. David Hero, you have been burying Zack Ryder for months here on this program.
Not burying Zack Ryder. I just don't think it's believable right now.
Right now, Zack Ryder has a championship match for the United States Championship on a WWE pay-per-view.
Does not have more than 15 minutes of in-ring time on Raw or SmackDown. His matches have been quick. They've been uneventful. Yes, you, the people out there, you love it. You think it's funny, haha, and entertaining or whatever else. But the fact is, can he sustain? Can he put in 15, 20 minutes on a pay-per-view?
You're not even giving the kid a chance.
I am giving him a chance on his YouTube show. I just don't think he's ready yet to become the United States champion. This scenario right here reminds me of Edge and Dolph Ziggler from the Royal Rumble. Everybody was begging for Dolph Ziggler to beat Edge and become the world champion. And maybe he should have, but was he ready? No. Look at Dolph Ziggler now. Now he's ready to be a top guy on either Raw or the SmackDown brand. I don't think Vince McMahon believes enough in Zack Ryder to make him the United States champion. So, with that being said, Dolph Ziggler is going to leave the United States champion. By the way,
you just can't give Zack Ryder a chance, can you?
I can't. He's getting a chance right now. I gave him more time on this segment than I gave Beth and Eve. Besides, let's not forget, it's points.
And ultimately, that's all that matters to you.
Well, it's about winning. No one cares if you're in second place.
You better start saving up those points because you're going to need them because...
I have all the headliners for WrestleMania. What are you worried about? I got
Don't forget, we'll be
I got
shuffling.
The Rock and John Cena. That's 50
We'll be
points
shuffling our draft picks in a few weeks for the mid-year shuffle.
We'll see. That's shenanigans.
Dolph Ziggler wins in the world according to Hero, and it is quite the twisted and sick world, by the way. Next matchup, Sheamus takes on Christian, and this one could be a very good matchup because we've seen a lot of build for it.
Well, it's going to be a good matchup because much like Eve and Beth, they've worked each other so many times on house shows and on a previous pay-per-view, so they should have a really good match. I think Christian needs this. He needed it last 2-3 weeks ago against Sheamus, but definitely this time Christian has got to leave this pay-per-view defeating Sheamus somehow.
You pick Christian?
Absolutely.
Wow, Sheamus is on your little team though.
No, he's on your team.
I know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear you say that.
I like Sheamus. I think he's a star. I don't think he needs to. Listen, if Christian's going to beat him, it's going to be because of outside shenanigans. Okay?
Wait a minute. You really?
Yeah.
You're using the word shenanigans because Sheamus is in this matchup?
No. Well, he got that from me, first of all. But,
he's Irish.
But listen, this is going to set up the Survivor Series. I honestly believe Christian's going to need help from other people, whether it be Cody Rhodes. It won't be Mark Henry. It could be Otunga. You know, all those guys that, are trying to have a lawsuit.
Otunga Mason?
Yes. Well, no, that's wellness policy. Mason
that's
is somebody.
Mason Ryan. I was referring to Clarence Mason back in the day.
So look for Christian to, by hook or by crook, somehow defeat Sheamus.
Interestingly enough about this card, all the contests, except for two of them, this being one of them, has a championship involved, so it's sort of reckoning back to Night of Champions. Vengeance, I questioned the reasoning for this pay-per-view.
It's to set up the the Survivor Series.
And we'll see if that indeed comes to fruition, but in this first half, we see Beth Phoenix defeating Eve Torres, retaining the Divas Championship. What's wrong with you?
Nothing. I'm just making sure you don't try to pull any fast stuff on here and
Dolph Ziggler
retains things that aren't yours.
Dolph Ziggler retains the United States Championship, and Christian defeats Sheamus. We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we'll talk about the main event featuring Cody Rhodes. This is Be the Booker for WWE Vengeance. Welcome back to Be the Booker for WWE. Are you gonna look? We're back here. You can't keep playing. Get off the internet on that thing.
No.
This
Listen,
is Be the Booker.
I need to think. Okay, you spring this stuff on me, and I only get so many minutes to try to put together the show.
Be the Booker for WWE Vengeance. In the first segment, you said that Beth Phoenix would retain the Divas Championship, Dolph Ziggler would retain the United States Championship, and Christian would defeat Sheamus.
Sheamus. Fella.
Several other matchups to talk about in this this pay-per-view event, and this one is going to pit the future world champion Cody Rhodes against the former world champion Randy Orton. Let the hate begin, David Hero.
No, there's no reason to hate whatsoever. It's gonna. I have an idea. I have a thought about how I would book this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Part of me thinks Cody Rhodes should win.
Yes!
But then,
Yes!
that's the dumb part of me that thinks that. The smart part of me says, well, Randy Orton can't lose to Cody Rhodes.
Oh, he's lost to Cody Rhodes at least 3 different times in the last 8 weeks.
Right, and I think that's the tease
Not
going
recently,
into
though.
this pay-per-view. I mean, Randy Orton, can he recover from a loss to Cody Rhodes?
Yes, because Cody Rhodes is a star. Cody Rhodes is the Intercontinental Champion. And Cody Rhodes at Hell in a Cell brought back that
So
old
you
Intercontinental
honestly
Championship. And
believe
all
he
of
can
you,
pin him?
all of those people out there are behind him. Cody Rhodes is crafty. He is crafty. He is witty. He can defeat Randy Orton because
And he
he's done it
talks like
before.
he's ridiculous.
He won't be talking in this matchup. He
Well,
will
he's
be
gonna have to
wrestling
talk. He's gonna-
Randy Orton.
have to talk to the referee to get the ambulance wheeled up because an RKO is going to put him out. Randy Orton, absolutely. He's going to get. Listen, Randy Orton's not going to lose to Cody Rhodes on a pay-per-view. I'm sorry. As much as everybody out there now is a big Cody Rhodes fan, and as much as you love the guy, I just don't see
Love's
it
a very
happening.
strong word. I just happen to have endorsed
It's also
it.
a 4-letter word. So, if Cody wins, I'm not surprised, but to make this worthwhile, you got to put Randy Orton over, and you'll see why as we do the rest of
Who
the show.
needs it more?
I think Randy Orton needs it more right now.
Really?
Absolutely. He lost to Mark Henry the last 2 pay-per-views. He's gotten beaten down. He's been destroyed. He's no longer in the top 3 matches on the card.
Yes, he is.
And it's
Stop
for,
that.
it's you know what? If it's for the Intercontinental title, which we don't know if it is or if it isn't, I don't think Randy's going to want the secondary title on SmackDown. But I do believe that Randy Orton. There's no way. It just can't happen. Unless there's shenanigans. And then, of course, then that would be EPO.
The WWE Championship will be on the line, and it is a last man standing match as Alberto Del Rio defends his championship that he no longer needs or should have against John Cena.
Doesn't need or should have.
Well, they're done with their Mexican
Did
tapings.
you hear that loud chant for ADR in Mexico? They love the guy. He's an icon. He's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer.
Even you would get a pop in Milwaukee.
I do.
Exactly.
Okay.
Bemidji, Minnesota, they
What
blew
happened
you out
to
of the
my
building.
screen here again?
What, David? What do you do here?
I didn't do
What is
anything.
going on?
Oh, you're lucky. I thought there was, shenanigans. This whole pay-per-view is about shenanigans. I'm serious.
Alberto Del Rio versus John Cena.
Last man standing match.
It is a last
You know
man
what I thought
standing
was
match.
funny is on Raw, I was confused as to why John Cena was looking at ADR and kept saying Juan.
He
But-
was counting. He was counting.
He was counting?
1, 2,
Oh, I like
3,
his name is Alberto.
4.
Why do you keep calling him
Really?
Juan? Okay, well that makes sense now. But last man standing match, like I said, the theme of this pay-per-view is what? Shenanigans. Alberto Del Rio is going to defeat John Cena because of shenanigans and have him make, listen, last man standing, he could tie him up with the scarf so he can't stand up. Right?
Like the Batista duct tape incident?
Exactly. Why not? That could come back to haunt him. If he can't get up, he can't win.
You're saying John Cena becomes a new champion?
No, I'm saying Alberto Del Rio retains the championship.
Really?
Absolutely.
But there has to be some way where John Cena was screwed.
Exactly. That's why I said the shenanigans comes into play. And that's why I'm going to DWHS this match.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
You have to. ADR needs it.
Wow.
Listen,
That's fascinating. That's risky.
Right now, ADR is like the Ken Anderson of Raw. Put the belt on him, take it off. Put the belt on him, take it off. ADR needs a strong victory.
World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Mark Henry defending against the Big Show. Big Show back in WWE, back on SmackDown, and he gets a quick championship opportunity against Mark Henry. What shall happen here tonight? It's the first time they've really had a wrestling match together since Hell in a Cell. I'm sorry, Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. And you know what? That was a good match for the two of them.
It was a great match.
Told a good story. It was a fight. It was a brawl. It's what the people wanted to see. There's no reason why Mark Henry can't win again. He's on a roll. He's going to be rolling all the way to the Royal Rumble, and Mark Henry is going to retain the World Heavyweight Championship.
Mark Henry has said he will be champion for the next 15 years. As impossible as that is, he definitely will hold it for quite some time in WWE if things happen the way they should. Big Show goes right back into the shadows, if you will, but that's fine for him. He doesn't need it.
He could be they could have a rematch at Survivor Series.
Oh.
Body Slam Challenge match then. Who knows?
$15,000 on the line?
Why not?
Start giving the money to the audience.
Madison
It is in
Square
Madison
Garden.
Square Garden. The final matchup and the tag team matchup where The Miz and R-Truth will team up to take on the team of CM Punk, the voice of the voiceless, and the COO of WWE, Triple H.
Gonna be a good match.
Because The Miz is involved, of course it will.
Well, and also because you got a ring general like Triple H that's going to be pointing the guys in the right direction. You don't think so? You don't think Triple H is a good ring
disagree.
general?
I didn't say a word. All I did was adjust my lenses.
You put your head in your hands like Bobby Roode did on Sunday night, all depressed and frustrated. This is going to be, I'm guessing this match goes at least 30 minutes with these guys. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it ends the show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, there's got to be a huge story that comes out of this matchup. Because we've got to get to...
It could be a big, sexy story that comes out of this matchup.
We got to get to the Survivor Series where we know where we know John Cena and The Rock will be on opposing teams. We know that Triple H will be involved in that matchup as well. So somehow or another we have to get there. And WWE still needs to explain why The Rock is coming back so quickly in the Survivor Series and the Raw before it, by the way, the special Raw where The Rock will return on November 14th. So this one's going to have a lot of telling to do.
A lot of telling and a lot of shenanigans in this match also. Right now, Miz and R-Truth are my favorite to win the main event. With, of course, R-Truth.
You just said The Miz was your favorite.
No, they're my favorite to win the main event. And
The Miz is endorsed,
I'm
by the
sure
way,
R-Truth will get the pinfall on CM Punk or whatnot. Or you know what, maybe it's a disqualification. There's going to be nonsense in this match because this is the match that brings The Rock and John Cena together with CM Punk and Triple H against The Miz and R-Truth and maybe big sexy Kevin Nash and a couple others at the Survivor Series. This right here is what starts the Survivor Series, which then obviously goes into the Rumble, which then slides right into Miami and Sweet and Sexy.
Speaking of Sweet and Sexy packages on sale and available right now at pwrshow.com. Get in where you fit in. Only a few seats are available to join us in a suite at Sun Life Stadium for WrestleMania. This year, also a hotel option, David Hero.
Really?
We've partnered with a hotel in Miami.
A no-tell motel?
It depends on what you're going to be doing when you're there, but you can definitely stay at the PWR Host Hotel. Whether or not you're participating in Sweet and Sexy, you can still go ahead and book a room at that Host Hotel. Great rate in downtown Miami, only half a mile away from the convention center and other activities, and more details available right now at pwrshow.com. Sweet and Sexy. Did you buy your package yet? Sweet and Sexy package?
No, of course not. I'm a last-minute kind of guy.
Let's review WWE Vengeance this Sunday on pay-per-view, at least in the world, according to David Hero. Beth Phoenix retains the WWE Divas Championship in a matchup against Eve Torres. Dolph Ziggler retains the United States Championship in a matchup against Zack Ryder, because David Hero just can't give Zack Ryder the win in that match.
Well, how can you give him the win in the match? He's not ready yet.
That's fine.
It is fine.
Christian defeats Sheamus. The matchup between Cody Rhodes and Randy. I must have wrote this down wrong because I circled
have
Randy Orton.
Winning that match.
That's because you're insane. Cody Rhodes will dominate.
You know what? Fine. Go right ahead. Let him dominate all he wants. Randy Orton is the better wrestler. Listen, all these heels are winning on this pay-per-view. The lone saving grace of Vengeance is going to be Randy Orton.
Alberto Del Rio retains the WWE Championship against John Cena. And Mark Henry retains the World Heavyweight Championship against the Big Show. And then The Miz, who is also endorsed, and R-Truth take on CM Punk and Triple H. The Miz and R-Truth winning that matchup this Sunday night at Vengeance on pay-per-view. Well, tune in to Vengeance on Sunday night, but if you happen to not do so, be sure you do tune into the PWR post-show, where we will run down the happenings of the pay-per-view event, Vengeance, for all of you out there live on Blog Talk Radio, taking your phone calls and more. And remember, as you watch, not just SmackDown this evening, but this pay-per-view on Sunday, use hashtag PWR in your tweets, and you might see them on primetime, like many of you will tomorrow.
Hashtag? What's that?
It's a Twitter term.
Is that that tic-tac-toe sign?
Yes.
That's what I call it.
This has been Be the Booker for WWE Vengeance. We'll see you tomorrow for primetime, and then Sunday after Vengeance for the post show. Thanks for tuning in.